G'day Mandingos, welcome back to Aussie Outdoor Reviews. In this video tonight, we are going to be smoking a brisket, a 4 kilo brisket on the Weber Kettle. So, we're going to be using the snake method, we're going to be doing 2x1 on the snake, we've got a little bit of apple wood to smoke, and I've got 14 heat beads in my charcoal chimney that I'm about to crank up and drop at the head of the snake to get this bad boy burning. We're going to be using a good old water pan, and this is really the first bigger size brisket that I've smoked. I've done a lot of the small cheap briskets in the Weber Kettle from Coles or Woolies, but this is my first big one with the point and the flat on it. So let's see how it turns out. We're going to be using a meter probe, and we have seasoned our brisket with the Char Griller brisket rub from Bunnings. All right, let me bring you in closer and let's get these briquettes lit. All right, folks, there's heat beads briquettes all ashed over, ready to go. So we want to dump those there at the head of the snake. And then we come back and tidy these up. We want to get a good start here. Okay. Now I've used sort of 14. That's because the ambient temperature tonight is sort of 8-9 degrees Celsius, so it is quite cool. We'll now drop in our pan, our water pan. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze, this one. Let's fill up our water pan with boiling water. Oh, you little ripper. Now let's drop our cooking grate on. Put our lid on for 5 minutes, let this preheat. Now I've got the vents fully open top and bottom. And I'm always going to make sure that my main vent here is on the opposite side of the burning snake. All right, let's let that come up to temp. Okay, so here we go. I want to put the thickest part of the brisket towards the head of the snake. There's also a nice big fat cap there. I've got my meter in here, so it's going to throw the ambient temp off a touch because the meter is directly across, but I've put the meter in sort of mid-range thickness of the meat. So we'll see how that one goes. Like I said, this is my first time ever doing a brisket this big or a cook this long in the Weber, so enjoy the ride. I think it's going to be a good one. So let's get this lid on, because if you're looking, you ain't bloody well cooking. All right, everyone, so that's 6 hours in and we've hit the stall at 167 degrees Fahrenheit. We will now pull her off, wrap her up and get her back on for the last few hours of this cook. Oh, there you have it, Mandingos. She's all wrapped up at 167 degrees Fahrenheit. Hopefully that will push her out to the morning. She's already been in for 6 hours, so now we're just going to around 202, 203 Fahrenheit, and we'll be going for probe tenderness there. So hopefully she's all ready to rock and roll in the morning, and that's all she wrote for tonight. So I'll catch us in the morning. G'day Mandingos, welcome back. Okay, so the moment of truth. How did the brisket turn out on the Weber Kettle? Well, it was an 8-hour smoke last night, and it's had about the same rest wrapped up in an esky. So let's see how it goes. The moment of truth. It's got some good looking colour, I guess. Let's check it for tenderness. And it's a bit tough. It's not as tender as I had hoped, I'll be honest. Some parts of it are really, like this is just jelly here. Well, we'll cut into it and we'll see how it looks. All right, so just using what I have, what I'm gonna do is just cut this little section of the point off. Just gives you a good gauge of the smoke ring. Hopefully you can see that there. It's got a nice little smoke ring. Not too bad at all, if I don't say so myself. Cut that up into a few little tasty morsels. See, that's just pulling apart there. Beautiful. And I'll cut the flat from the point. Looks like it's around here. A longer knife would be handy. It is a bit tough. It's a lot tougher than the smaller briskets, but you can see she's juicy. She's a juicy little bugger, so that's good. All right, slice her up. It's interesting, there are some points that, there's some sections in this meat that are pretty tough, and then there's other parts where it's just cutting through like butter. So obviously it needed a little bit longer. I did have some issues with the Weber. I've got a pretty old Weber, and the bottom vents don't fit as snugly as I had thought that they did. So it was letting a little bit of extra air in. I virtually had the bottom vents fully closed. So as you can see, it's a pretty nice smoke ring. It's pretty tough though. See that? It's pretty tough. But I'm sure it's going to be tasty enough. Yeah, tastes good. And it's not too tough. It's not too tough to chew. Let's have a look here. I'll show you this side. See, not too bad. All right, I'll slice this one up and I'll bring you back.
There's a bit of a fatty piece here. I might trim this off. This is all fat in here.
It would help to have a longer knife too, but you know, as they say, you can only piss with the cock you've got.
I really should trim some of that fat off before I cooked.
But you know, look, you live and learn. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I think I'll order some new bottom vents for the Weber, and we'll see how it goes from there. So you can see, tender enough. Not a bad smoke ring. Tastes pretty bloody good. So yeah, not bad at all. All right, folks. So thanks for sticking around and watching this first brisket video. Not too bad, not too shabby at all. Could definitely be better, but that's what it's all about, right? You got to give it a go. So hopefully the next one will come out better once I've replaced those bottom vents. But that 2x1 snake method, it was steady. The water pan was great. I didn't have to spritz as much as I do with the mini briskets where I don't use the water pan. So, you know, that was definitely handy, especially cooking through the night. Great. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, don't forget, like and subscribe if you can for more of this sort of content on the Weber Kettle. Thanks guys, catch you later.